はい、こんばんは、mattanです。何なんですかね、ヴァンパイア。なんか、昨日も今日も、あれやね、急にエラー、アプリケーションエラーで落ちてしまうし、これは何なんかな、バグかね。また落ちたらダメやね、もう。なんか急に落ちると嫌やね。やる気なくしますよね。エラー落ちがひどい。テルマを伺っているのが誰かを解くと思うんですけど、どっかな。で、ここへ行こうと思ったら、あれやの、回線落ちになったよね、なんか。ここで、マーカーをつけようとしたら、回線落ちになったのは意味わからんで。テルマ・バウクロフトは自身のことをすでに死んでいるか、また足から蘇りくして体の中に囚われているんだという元にとってかれているというね。あれえなんかおかしくなった。なんだこれマーカーつける、マーカー設置しようとしてるのに。顔怖いな、もう。まあ。マーカーつけようと、マーカーをつけようとしてるだけなんであれなの僕わからんけど。マーカーを消すも何をマーカーつけられないね。わからんわ。場所がわからん。小さなガラクタ。あ、こっちか。こっちか。あ、こっちか。あれなんやねん。どっちやわからへんな。これ何あ、ホスピタルフル。病院はマンションで、病院か。こっちかな。なんでこうマーカー、あっちもこっちもあるのこれ。どっち行ったらいいのか分からへん。ここはなんこれ、病院やったのか。どっか分からへんな、どっちへ来てるのか。どっちへ。
Scowl voices in the garden.
庭に光るのか、
I should
誰か
investigate.
を見つけたら大
If they
変。
were to find somebody.
庭に光るの声。 なんやお前。お前。見えへん。なんやこいつ強っ。これ武器持ってなかった武器。あれなんで武器装備してないの？武器装備してるやん。なんで？なんでや、おいおい。うわ、いっぱいおるし、なんでそんなやっぱ出てくるの？やめてくれ。痛い。死の。死の。死んだ。もう、なんでやねん。こんないっぱい出てくるってんの。一匹だと思ったの。叶えませんな。私たちはもう生と死の輪の中にない。私は不死な、そして追放者でもあるのよ。誰か言ってんの？嫌ですね。どこに飛ばされたんやろ。間違えた。なんでこれ装備がいまいち。メインハンドで違う、すぐバッチボタンじゃないの、押してしまうわ。中古の警棒中。 何これ。
I'm Dr. Reed. Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead. A colleague? Are you a doctor too? Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Eh?
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
何これ。謎の処方箋。紙に書かれた処方箋、複雑で分析がある。お金を持ってるのか持ってないのか分からへんだけど。アヘン。ホデイン。ホデインは強い鎮痛。痛み止めと咳止めによく。
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
何も買えへんから。ここはしたいやんしょ。マジがあなたを求めて
る。It's locked, all right.
あれ
Good evening, Dr.
あ、間違
Reed.
えた。
Such a pleasure to see you again.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
あれはどこやったかな。
I'm sure that during your lifetimes, you have all seen things that no one could believe.
魔法と看護師が必要。
Come now, we can handle this.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
どこやろこっち側か
You always knew the words to calm the children, Helen.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat
僕が
hurts
と
too
ても言い
much.
たい
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
到着時のことを聞かれて
Tell me more
る。
about
ブロ
your
グ病院
arrival
に
at
到
the
着され
Pembroke
たこと
Hospital.
あとは
What
話して
gave
く
you
ださい。
such a
何が
bad
本来なの
first
かな
impression?
第一
The
が悪い
ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start.
救急車の運転が
And
遅
that
れ
nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Good evening, sir. Doctor. I will not let you down, Mike.
どこかな。いまいち場所がわからんな。これどっちへ行ったらいいんやろ。わかりにくいね。地域調査しようと思ってるんやけど、どこ行ったらわからないんだな。どっちへじゃあええやろ。俺は病院やしな。全然場所がわからん。全然わからんな。どこへ出てきたのか全然。どっから出てきたのに行ったらいいのか全然わからへん。こっちかな。ポプラフォーバーグ。なんやこいつ。もうなんやの。熱っ。どっちか分からへんな。これどっち行ったらええんやろ。もういっぱいおるやん。もうなんかもう場所が分からへんのになんかいっぱいおるやん。なんか離れて全然違うとこ来たわ。全然違うとこ来たな。全然違うとこ来たなんだよな。いや、いっぱい。何やねんこいつら。何やねんこいつら。いっぱいおるやんこいつ。嫌やな。こっちじゃないのか。いや、全然離れていった。全然場所違った。間違えた。間違えたわ。全然ちゃうし。 いつら。全然場所間違えたな。わからへんな、これ。どっち行ったらいいのか。どこへ行ったらいいの、これ。はあ、全然。マップが分かれて。なんでこうなんの、マップが。分かりづらいな。
Go back home, idiot!
ちゃうちゃうちゃう。あれ
Stop right now!
わからんわ。向こう側やな。
It's a leech! Kill it! There's one of them vermin!
わかりづらいな。全然違うとこ来たいな。これ何？家から出ないようにしましょう。日記なんかな。
Good evening. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new
こさっき
surgeon
いた
here.
おばさんちゃうの？
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir.
看護師
I'm
の
Nurse
グリーン
Gwyneth
ス
Brannigan. Welcome
ブ
to
ラ
the
ナガン
Pembroke
です。
Hospital.
ベンブロック
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr.
変なと
Swansea
こで
made
リモ
sure
コン
of
切れる
that.
な、しかし。
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands
特
out?
に目立つ人は、そうデ
I
ベッ
have
ツ先生
never
の
met
原始的
someone
な
as
方に会ったことある。
dedicated
あの
as
方
Dr.
ここにいる皆の
He should be a standard for us all here.
お手本になるべき方、もう
If
少し
only
若け
he
れば
were
です
younger.
けど。
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
あれまたわからん。あ、こっちか。また反対の方来てしまった感じやな。ここは入れないの。うわ。あ、これやな。調査指令。ガード・オブ・ブリエン指令書より。リストエンド・ケイラ隊。件名、ヴァンパイア活動及び病院の調査について。3日前、新人の一人がベンブログ病院のドリストエンドに女のヴァンパイアが隠れていると噂耳にした。分かっているのは女の名前がテルマだということだけだ。君の使命は慎重に現場に向かい、その知るに関する打楽器活動について観察し、我々に直接報告すること、その報告に基づいて必要な行動を決定する。ガード・オブ・ブリュエンの出張指令書を見つける。来ちゃいけへん。 ホワイトチャペル、皮膚の状態深刻。公式健康被害報告。夜間外出禁止、ロンドン市民の皆さん、夜間外出禁止令、公式健康被害報告。午後9時に教会の鐘で夜間外出禁止をお知らせします。すべての市民は鐘が鳴ってから午前5時まで通り出てはいけません。さらなる通知があるまで、市内全域で夜間外出禁止令が発令され、感染拡大防止のため、必ずマスクを着用して、なんかどっかの状況と一緒やな、もう。ご家族のうち一人で病気になった場合、直ちに当局までお知らせください。夜間外出禁止の午後9時までの受付となります。危なそうやな、ここなんか。絶対危ないやろ。うわ、こいつ強い。うわ、こいつ強い。うわ、こいつ強い。何やねん、こいつこんなん。ダメやん。強すぎやろ。苦しみは不状態一部で痛み合うことはないわ。どこに戻されたんでしょう。あれ、ロードが始まらない。あれ、どこへ戻されたの？わからん。変なところになんかマーカー。こっちじゃなかったからさっきの。
When I get back, I'll have a word with Tom. He's really pissed me off this time.
Good evening, Mr. Cox.
Dr. Reed. Still working at night, I see. I like that.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me. More interesting, one way or another.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
"とりあえず死体安置所。死体安置所どこや？これない？ダラダラした健康的な血液散布。ダイアン師匠はどこ？こっちか？
It's locked.
ここや。 隔離、インフルエンザ、この国で立ち入り禁止です。感染症のため隔離中です。現地の保健所のなんとか証を持ってないもの隔離区域の出入りはなんとかです。どこやろ。広島はここになってるのか。あ、ここか。どうやって入るのこれ。あ、古い団地。古い団地で有用な医薬品材料を見つける。主石酸大気鉄を見つける。キニーネを見つける。イヤ塩素酸ナトリウムを見つける。またなんかおるよね、もう。ガラス瓶。ウッキーがなあ、変なことしてしもたな、なんか。オフハンドは弾ないはずなんやけど、弾がないよね。あ、間違えた。これなんで切り替えできないの？え？何が？変なとこ入った。あれ、間違えたわ。どっちがどっちかわからない。
It's locked, all right.
Ah. Billing, o金で。どこにあるんやろ。 わからんな。あ、これか。
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
切れない。変なとこ字幕切れたか分からへんね。何なんだか忘れないとか言った。痛い痛い痛い痛い痛い。
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
あ、ここにある。
This key will surely
この
grant
鍵
me
が近
access
く
to
に
the
入るに
basement.
違いない。アルコールのボトル。あ、びっくりした。あ、何やな。痛い痛い痛い痛い痛い。痛い痛い痛い。痛い痛い痛い痛い。あ、これ。リア塩素炭ナトリウム、どこにある？ショットガンシェルとか持ったかって、ショットガンがどこにあるの？全然ないじゃねえかな。こんな武器はどこにあるんでしょうか。あ、この上は？またおるわ。
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
ゃない。わからんな、どっか。危ない。
It's locked.
あら、施錠されている。ブラッド吸収、新しいオフハンド武器をできない。勝負した三角形とブラッドを直接吸収します。ランブラッド吸収。有効のリストン刀。エンブローグ病院検視室。タミヤルコナー、高架ソリッド、男性39歳、不明瞭死で考えられる新ウイルス抵抗の肺硬化症に、新しく市民を調査できるようになりました。あれ戻れへん。市民調査は、仕事の分類対策を認証したら、
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this. It's locked, all right.
鍵かかってるのはどうした？開いた今日。
The chest was originally open to perform the operation.
見えへん。The
sutures are clean.
胸郭はもともと手術のために開かれていた。統合あとはもう白いところに白い字で見えへんやこんなもん。
Traces of a
合
pinkish
格にピン
foam
ク
at the
の泡
corner
の
of the
宝
lips.
石がある。薬
Some
物
sort
の
of drug
過
overdose,
剰使用
perhaps?
かな。白いところに白い字幕は見えへんやねんなもん。損傷を受けた
Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman.
まあ両親によくは分からへん。
A puncture over the left lung,
左肺に
possibly a chest tube
う
insertion.
わ全然目おそら
Not the
く
cleanest work, but I think it was successful.
もう読めなかったわ。
Signs of internal
内出
bleeding.
血の兆候。
So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error.
とんでもないミスを犯したんだ。 It's time we talked.
So, Dr. Tippett,
まずい薬の量を間違えて患者を救出しようか。
Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him again. It's time we talked.
Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
古い探知とで、リア塩素酸ナトリウムなんかどこにあるんやろ。またおるわ。どこやろ。こっちの方やな。なんやねん。ボスみたいなおるやんな。おい。なんやねんこいつら。
These skulls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
容量守れは効果的だ。表層台を作る。なんかない？ここは何？またおるやん。やれ。どっちへ行けばいいの？出口がわからん。
It's locked.
鍵はどこにある？謎の処方箋。 であるといけないな。なんもねえよ。なんもないじゃん。どうやって音出たらよかったんやろ。で、その出方はわからん。音の出方がわからないな。出口がわからないやないか、もう。どこや、出口は。あ、地下が来たんやから上上がらなきゃダメやな。目口はどこでしょう。出口がわからん、出口。全然出口わからん。あ、こっちか。ややこしいね、もう。あれ入れてしまったんあれどこで薬をつければいいのこ
れ Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me?
I'm Harvey Fiddick.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double.
She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
I will not let you down, my boy.
どこやる場所が全然わからない。どこで作れてるのこれ。結成とか。結成じゃないわ。
Yes, Doctor?
I'm all right.
That's all for now, Nurse Crane. Thank you.
あれまた戻すよ。もうややこしいな。なんかここら辺になってんのにな。違うのかな。上か
You always knew the words to calm the children. As for me.
Pembroke is so lucky to have Dr. Reed, you know. I met him in New York once.
If only there were more of us, with less resignation and more determination.
See you again.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
どっかわからんなこれ。全然どこがどこだかわこっちの方に42メートルとかなってるんやけど、上上がらなきゃダメなのかもしかして。
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swans's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
I really hope you're right about this, Dr. Ackroyd. I'm trusting your judgment on this.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please...
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital.
I know we've never met before.
Oh, but I have heard of...
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital instead of a burden.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Damn it. Blaming me will not further your agenda, sir. How long's it going to take to fix me properly? A month? A year? You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
My sweet girl reads me like a book. I never could keep anything
But in
from
the
her.
circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
どこか全然わからんなもん。
With you at our side, Dr. Reed, I know that Pembroke will prevail and survive.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen.
わからん。上に上がるところがわからんなもん。上に上がるところもわからん。そう出たらダメ。わからんな。わからなくなってきた。眠くなってきました。なんで出てしまうの？これおかしいやろ。こんな病院。こんな変な病院やったかな。
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
わからない。全然わからない。上上がるところが全然わからん。階段もあらへん。あったわ。自分の部屋はどこやったやろ。こうか。あ、ジョナタンの名札。表素材を作る。 あれあれワンジャー博士のメッセージ。前弱ジョナタン、2階に君のオフィスを確保する。もうええわ。わからん。眠くなってきたのでここら辺でやめとこう。はい、今日は終わります。はい、おやすみなさい。中途半端ですけど終わり。あ、もうなんでやねん。